Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I wanted to talk to you about something that somebody brought to my attention, and I thought it was worth discussing. It has to do with this, and I'm going to make this video pretty short, but I wanted to make this point. Somebody asked me, why is it that we have mega churches in our community? We have a lot of mega churches, but not many mega schools, mega banks, or mega businesses? Why is it that we go big when it comes to religion, but we can't go big when it comes to education? We go supersize when it comes to building the building fund, but we don't necessarily go hard when it comes to funding black businesses or funding black banks or funding black institutions as a collective. Now, first of all, I want to make this clear point that this is not a statement that is meant to be anti-black church. I have a lot of friends that are pastors. My father was a pastor actually, and actually both of my fathers, my stepfather and my biological father. I don't know my biological father, but I heard he was preaching. So so I have a lot of respect for the church, especially when the church is run in the right way. I think the black church can be and is in some cases when it's run correctly. One of the most important and lasting institutions in our community. A lot of people, get educated through the church. They learn business through the church. In fact, my financial literacy programs have been picked up by a lot of churches around the country. All things like that. So let me just make that clear that this is not one of those anti-black church rants. I'm not into that. Because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of black churches across this world, and they ain't all the same. They're not all the same. You got the absolute worst to the absolute best. I say that we find ways to model the absolute best and find ways to use that power in a productive way. Starting with the church, one of the things that I would say is, churches, by being such a powerful institution and being one of the few places in the black community where economic resources are aggregated, giving you the ability to play the game of powernomics, you got to play that game. And playing that game requires a couple of things. It requires skill and courage. Skill and courage. Skill means are you economically trained? Do you have every black church in this country should have economic training programs just as a standard protocol for every single person who walks through that door. Every single person who walks through the door should understand, what it means to invest, what it means to save, what it means to spend effectively, what it means to spend black, what it means to build a business, why business ownership is so important for the black community because we are the last hired, first fired, and we also are the ones who are most likely to be miserable on our jobs. So entrepreneurship is critical for the black community. Real estate acquisition critical for the black community. Investing critical for the black community. So every church, to me, if you ask my opinion, not that I have the right to tell anybody how to run their church, but every church should have an economic and financial literacy program, economic intelligence program, a powernomics program as just a fundamental part of what they offer. You got to preach that gospel of black economic empowerment and push it hard so that we as a people gain the power that we deserve. The Jewish community, they use their synagogues as an economic vehicle, an economic vessel that allows them to achieve tremendous goals. The synagogue is deeply connected to Jewish economic power. You look at the Vatican's role. The Vatican in the Catholic Church, they have the Vatican Bank, right? Because they understand the linkage between the spirituality and the economic power. In fact, they use the economic power to protect their religious freedom and all the other freedoms that they want. So the black church needs to be the next great institution to really make that power move. That's my recommendation to every church that's watching, every bishop, pastor, everybody who's contributed to the building fund. Bring that to your church next Sunday. And in fact, you may want to play this video. In fact, I won't cuss, so you can play this video in church because y'all know I cuss sometimes. I can't apologize for that. Second thing I'll say is, as a community, as a whole, I think we've got to kind of look at the contradiction in terms of how we are very quick and very good at building strong institutions when it comes to our faith, but we're not equally committed to building strong institutions when it comes to education. For example, black people, for the amount of money that you gave to Disney when Disney put out the Black Panther, you could have probably started a whole chain of black-owned schools all across the United States. For the amount of money we spent on a movie, on a one-time event, a one-time moment of excitement, we could have used that to educate 100,000 black children over the next 100 years. But instead, we don't have that long-term vision, and we also don't take those same skills it takes to build a great church and put those same skills into building a great institution, a great school. Same thing is true with building great businesses, building great banks, things like that. In fact, churches are actually banks in themselves. If you look at what a bank is basically a collection of resources that can be used for various purposes. It can be used to provide financial security, provide liquidity, to provide investment opportunities, whatever, right? So churches in themselves, those are the last black banks. Those are black banks. Those are black banks. Anytime you have a collection of resources, then you effectively become a bank. And the question is, how does that bank allocate its capital, right? I'm a finance professor. This is what I do. So basically, I'm telling you this. Like, churches really are banks, right? And people, you don't see it that way because they don't have the same rules and procedures and protocols as banks, but they can function just like banks, okay, for the most part. Not completely, but there are a lot of similarities. With that said, I think that as a community, we got to realize a couple of things. Look, when you talk about funding a church and you talk about what you do in church, what do? You talk in church a lot about the afterlife. The afterlife. The afterlife is, whatever you want it to be, right? For some people, the afterlife is this place you go called heaven, where the streets are paved with gold. Maybe the Muslims believe that you have 72 virgins when you go to heaven. And people have different views of heaven. And I'm not telling you that it's right or wrong, but I can tell you that one thing about heaven is that most people who tell you about heaven have never actually been there. So they're really operating on faith. But here's one thing I can prove to you. I can prove that the afterlife is real. Let me tell you how I know for a fact that the afterlife is real. I'm going to prove it to you right now. The only thing that I need to do in order to prove to you that the afterlife is real is to lean on one simple fact. I need you to do this one little favor for me. I need you to get over yourself. I need you to stop thinking about your afterlife and what's going to happen with you and what rewards you're going to get in heaven. And I need you to think about the afterlife that's going to occur for the people that you love after your life is over. After your life is over, one thing we know for sure, like we don't know what happens to you when you die, but we do know that after your life is over, your relatives, your loved ones, your family and friends are all going to be here after you're gone. They're all going to be here, and they're all going to be affected by the choices you made or did not make while you were here. I'm not saying that heaven ain't real. Maybe you'll be in heaven and you'll be chilling on a cruise ship. Good for you. But when you die, the people you love are going to remain here on earth, and they're going to either live in a heaven on earth or a hell on earth based on the choices you made in your life right now with the money that you have in your pocket. There are assets you can buy right now that will cost triple that amount 20, 30 years from now. So you could buy them now and leave them to your children, or you can leave nothing for your children and make them buy them at triple the price. Like, go back 30 years. Most houses 30 years ago, they cost $70,000, now cost about $250,000 or more right now. Somebody could have bought that house 30 years ago and passed it down to you, but nobody did. So now you're living in hell. You can't get a home because somebody may have decided not to go ahead and prepare for the afterlife. So what I'm trying to say to you is that just like some of you are living in a financial hell, some of our people are living in financial hell because people before them did not prepare for the afterlife. They prepared for the pie in the sky, but didn't prepare for the opportunities on earth. Because they did not prepare for the afterlife, there are people that are struggling now because they didn't prepare. There will be people in the future who will struggle if you do not prepare right now. If you do not learn how to think long term, if you do not learn how to think in terms of institution building, long-term economic gains, long-term economic strength, then your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren will suffer because you were too short-sighted to make moves right now. So what I want you to really do is I want you to come to church with me right now, everybody. And I need you to prepare for the afterlife. I need you to commit to me right now that you're going to prepare for the afterlife, right? And preparing for the afterlife means, number one, you start investing for your children. I have a book on Amazon you can get that costs almost nothing that focuses basically on what I call the $5 a day investing plan. It shows that if you invest $5 a day, which it can't even buy you, I don't even think they can buy you a Happy Meal. It definitely can't buy you a value meal at McDonald's. $5 a day of investing can literally lead to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in wealth for your children and grandchildren 25, 30, 35, 40 years down the line, right? I want you to tell me that you're going to prepare for the afterlife by making economic intelligence a fundamental part of your family discussions. That in your family, everybody in that family will know the basics of starting a business. Everybody in your family will own shares of stock. Everybody in your family is going to at least know how to acquire real estate and why ownership in real estate is important instead of measuring economic opportunity based on income. Income means nothing if you don't allow it to mean something. income means nothing other than the opportunity to actually own something. Income is water coming out of the faucet. Ownership is putting the water in a bucket and saving the water for later. If you have no bucket, then the water in the faucet is fleeting. It's a flow. It's going to come down, go down the sink, and disappear forever. So income means nothing. Ownership is everything. Income means nothing other than the opportunity to own. So black people, stop measuring your economic success based on income, because all income is opportunity. All income is potential. And last time I checked, we run around talking about our 1.3 trillion in spending power, which is 1.3 trillion in lost potential, because we allow our income to flow down the drain and into the hands of white people, and then we wonder why we so damn broke. I said damn. I apologize if you're watching this in church. May God forgive me. My point here is this. Look, everything that we need to be, everything that we need to have, we already have this. We're already there. We're already the chosen people. We're already the greatest group of human beings on the earth, because we've overcome things that would have killed most people. We've already built amazing churches. We have pastors that will probably die as billionaires because we're so deeply committed to supporting our religious institutions. All I'm just saying is, take that same energy, that same passion, that same skill, and apply it to everything you do. If black folks got on the same page economically, we could have a black-owned school system, educate our own children tomorrow. If we got on the same page, we could have 10,000 more black businesses by next Friday. If we got on the same page, you and your church, if you're watching with a group of black people, y'all can pull your money together and go buy a building next week. So what's stopping you, black people? You got the income. You brag about 1.3 trillion in spending power. You need to go mega in everything. If you're going to go supersize with your church, go supersize with your businesses. Go supersize with your real estate. Go supersize with your educational initiatives. Go supersize with everything. And that's what's going to make black people great again. Because we were great before. We had a little dip during slavery and Jim Crow. But I think that we're on our way up. All we got to do is activate. Once we activate and snap our fingers, we'll do things that'll blow the rest of the world away. In fact, in the Black Business School, we have an initiative we believe in called Project 2070, where I believe that if we preach this gospel of black economic empowerment long enough, we will, by the year 2070, be the most financially literate, most financially sophisticated group of people on the earth. You already see it now, because now you got rappers talking about investing. You got athletes running around talking about wanting to be billionaires. You got a lot of people becoming billionaires in this generation, largely because economic intelligence has become the thing that everyone now understands as the most important step for our community. Now all we got to do is just push a little bit harder, move a little bit faster. And I think churches are critical to this progress. So those of you who, just think all black churches are worthless, I encourage you to reconsider your position and realize that with the support of the church, we can accomplish things a lot faster than we can by constantly attacking the church. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm about to roll out. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, and please hit the subscribe button, please hit the share button, all that stuff. Also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, you can go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. Last but not least, if you're interested in investing, we have a masterclass that meets every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And you can check it out if you're interested at drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. I'm out of here. Thank you for listening. You guys have a good day. Be good. Peace.